I've been in fashion for a decade and I have been to dozens of fashion shows. And if you asked me what my favorite show I've ever been to was, I will probably not tell you about the clothes. I had a friend text me earlier this week after the Chanel show, and he had asked me, if you're not physically in the room for shows, what is the best way to consume fashion show content from afar? And how you consume a show is everything. My routine when I go to see a fashion show, I'll go on Vogue Runway, I pay for Vogue so I can see the flat images. And I'll also try to catch a live stream if a brand is showing it on their Instagram. I think it's really easy to look at the flat images of a collection and form your opinion. But to be honest, I think if you do that, you're missing out on so much of the magic of a show. There is so much that happens in a fashion show. There's the soundscape, the pacing, the models, the model walk, the set, the setting, the show notes, which usually tells you what a designer is trying to convey. We can take this week's Chanel show as a perfect example. Let's start with the set. I'm still speechless on it. Chanel took us into a new universe, literally. Planets hanging from the Grand Palais ceiling. The floor was a lacquered starry sky. The soundscape too was so beautiful. It was uplifting and inspiring and joyful. Genuinely got me so excited for the future of Chanel. Let's also talk about the way those clothes moved. Like, yes, you could see some of the skirts and dresses in photos, but the way they moved on video was incredible. Of course, I can't forget the finale moment when Awar clapped her hands and hugged Mathieu. That was an emotional moment. It was palpable. Everybody stood up, clapped their hands, and all of those touch points were why I thought that show was a masterclass. We should also talk about Jonathan Anderson's debut for Dior. If you had just looked at images of that collection, you might have missed this amazing video montage that he did at the beginning of the runway show that paid homage to all of the designers that came before him at Dior, and also gave great references as to what you would later see on the runway, like those Galliano-inspired, very theatrical hats. All this to say, if you love fashion and you want to be creating informed and thoughtful opinions about the shows that we're seeing in the world, don't just stop at the images. Especially with all of the platforms that we have available to us now, while yes, there is a very small group of people that get to be in the room for a show, there are so many resources that you can use now to get as much as you can about that collection. Some accounts that I love following that help me form my opinion: Data But Make It Fashion, Hot La Mode, because yes, they show us the clothes, but they also do such a great job of telling us the bigger story that's happening. Because believe it or not, sometimes it's not just all about the clothes.